the video was you having sex with, it wasn't 1,000, it was over 1,000.
1,057.
Was that like a lucky number?
We reached the 1,000. When I looked out the door, the stairwell was just still full. The floor genuinely turned into like an ice rink. Like there was that many fluids, condoms, wrappers. Like guys were walking out the room to leave and would be slipping over. I was losing condoms inside of me. And the funniest guy was the last guy. He came in and I was riding him and he was just singing, "You've Got a Friend in Me."
It's Sofia Franklyn. You are listening to Sofia with an F, and the F is for phenomenal.
Bonnie, I feel like you don't even need an introduction. You have become this massive sensation. Like, I brought you up to my boyfriend, to like my friends, and I was like, I'm interviewing Bonnie.
Yeah.
Every single one of them was like, no way. Like, you're gonna have Bonnie Blue in your apartment.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you, the catapult to fame was the I'm gonna sleep with over 1,000 men in a day. Was that like the headline that really took off?
No, it was probably originally, it was quite small in comparison to, I guess, the publicity and attention I get now, but it was originally how you have spring break. We've got a thing called schoolies. I did that in Australia, and at the time it was just unheard of. Someone who did OnlyFans or was like an adult, content creator sleeping with 18-year-olds and post the videos online was like unheard of in a way, which it just blew up completely. Everyone was shocked that it was a girl which was older sleeping with people that was younger. And it sort of showed taboo. Massively, because these content creators that sleep with like people dressed up as schoolgirls all the time, and there's never ever a backlash.
Right.
So I guess what made it go so viral is women complaining about the fact how sleeping with schoolboys, saying, "Oh my God, this is such a big problem."
So it was women who complained.
100%. But they're also saying, "Oh, we want equality and we're the same as men." Well, if that's the case, why do you not have an issue with all the men that sleep with people dressed as schoolgirls? Like, you can't be saying you're one thing, but actually you're portraying the other.
That's like the entire industry. Like, I know there's like a whole MILF thing, but like it was kind of built on girls that look younger. Like the entire, and that's like also 100%. What we sexualize outside of.
But even from a young age, like when you went to school, I know I did it. Like I dressed up as like a naughty schoolgirl for Halloween.
Did you go to Catholic school? I did. We could only wear skirts once a month.
Once a month?
Once a month
Why
for
only
church.
Once a month?
Because girls were literally wearing skirts that were like this long.
Yeah, we did use like really short ones, fold them up at the edge.
With thigh highs that like when the teacher would come around, you would hurry and turn them into knee socks.
Yeah. Like in a way, like school uniform, like it has been sexualized, but people dress up as it all the time. But there's no sort of uproar. You never see in the media like, "Oh my God, let's ban people dressing up as schoolgirls for Halloween," or, "Oh, there's a problem with that." But as soon as an older woman like myself started sleeping with people that was 18, it was like, okay, that's crazy. So I guess that's when I first started to get like attention and media and...
Okay, so because I did a lot of research, that is kind of every interview, not every single one, but a lot of them ask the same type of question.
I always say this. Yeah, it's always the same question.
Which is like, what does this mean for feminism? And like basically what you were just saying.
Yeah.
Walk me through the younger guy thing, because I didn't know that came before.
So I started the industry in May. I did that in November in 2023. And yeah, it just blew up completely. And I didn't realize at the time, but as soon as I saw it in the media, that's when I realized, okay, this is a really big thing. And I was still at the time doing it just because I was like, okay, this is fun. It's going to make good content. But then when I actually started sleeping with them, I realized how much they didn't know about how much they watched these videos online and then they was trying to copy it in the bedroom. And I was like, oh, it doesn't work like that. Or they started getting like really nervous if they couldn't perform. And I'm like, you do realize people in the industry inject, they take tablets, there's that many edits and crops. And that cum scene probably happened either early or it happened ages afterwards when it, was meant to happen. Wow, and then I became like passionate about actually wanting to educate them and teach them on, okay, how to have and also give them a good first-time experience, because I know mine was not terrible, but we literally put it in, didn't know what to do, and was like, is that how you're meant to pleasure one another?
and for people who don't know, you went to, you had only slept with 5 people.
Yeah, just a handful.
Prior. And you decided that the and stuff that people were filming was like too aggressive and too...
It was just like fake. Like, and it's still, I still love doing those like quite rough scenes that like, and making them storylines which are fake. But I was like, there's no content out there that you can actually relate to. They're people that are perhaps a bit either underweight or overweight, or they've got smaller. So I was like, where's that content that people can actually sit and go, that looks like me? Or, you know what, I'd probably last 10 seconds like that person. I was like, because that still can be hot. And people that have got different body shapes are also hot. And I was like, there's no videos online for people to watch. That's just normal. Like when we have, it's not always a massive performance. Like sometimes it's a very short, shall we have? It's quite a quick experience and that's that. But that is still sexy.
Right. Yeah, I was listening to you on this podcast that was so funny. And you had this moment where you were like, sometimes I will finish and I'll look at the guy and think to myself, oh, I would not look at you twice on the street. But like, I had an incredible work.
Yeah.
That brings up like this larger topic that I've been wanting to talk about for so long. I cannot have an unless I low-key am angry or not interested. Or not interested.
What are you thinking about when you have to be angry?
Well, I'm not angry during.
Oh my God, I need to deep clean that apartment.
I'm not angry during.
Yeah.
But if I write the guy off, I have a way easier time having an orgasm.
Is that because then you're less bothered about what he's like, what he's thinking? So you're thinking, oh, I'm not too bothered about your judgment, so I'm just going to let myself go.
Yes. I don't really give a like we got in a fight and like I've broken up with you in my head. So now I can have like an incredible
like, I do
orgasm.
sort of get that because I know, say if I was like going on a date and sleeping with that guy for the first time, before I'd probably not have good. I'd be too worried about making sure I was pleasuring him, giving him a good performance, and then I wouldn't be really thinking about myself.
Right.
Or sometimes I panic. I'm like, oh my God, it's taking me too long to finish. So I'm either going to have to fake it or switch it up.
Right. That is my thought process. And I need...
What, so if a guy's down there and it's taking too long, what do you think? Like, do you just try and get angry or... Like, what are you thinking of? Because don't you also think you have to really concentrate?
Well, actually... You're not that far off. I won't get angry, but sometimes I will...
Stop pulling his hair.
You dumbass bitch. Sometimes I will channel and just try to pretend like it's something else going on. You know what I mean? Not that I'm not getting eaten out, but like, oh, someone who's not supposed to be eating me out is eating me out, and it shouldn't feel good. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like that kind of psychology.
Is it sort of classed as cheating if somebody is eating you out and you're thinking of somebody else?
No. But also, you're talking to the wrong girl. You and I are both.
Yeah. I mean, I don't behave a lot of the time. So.
I've gotten in a lot of trouble because I've changed now, but I would be very open about I've cheated quite a bit.
Yeah.
Not in a bragging way. I don't think it's cool. I've like hurt a lot of people. I am completely not doing that now.
Sometimes think, not that I'm promoting cheating, but like sometimes it's just not that deep. Like sometimes, you know what, you might be in a relationship, you just see someone really hot and you just think, you know what, I just want to go and have some fun and I want to be selfish.
Right.
And I do actually promote the selfish life sometimes because if you focus on too much on making the other person happy, you forget about yourself. And I sometimes think, you know what, if you want to go and sleep with that person, it's not like you're going to go marry him and, you know, sack off your normal life.
We're going to get literally burnt at the stake because I'm about to say, I don't think cheating is like that fucking crazy.
No.
Would I do it again? Would I want someone to do it? No. But I think you actually... You've gotten a lot of hate because you were giving advice to married women as to how they can keep their man not cheating on them.
Yeah, because the thing is that I used to be a full service worker as well, like for a little bit. And
what does that mean?
like an escort. So people could book me, like pay for a service. And men would cheat all the time. And at the time I was, I guess, quite ignorant, and I didn't really understand the amount of people that cheated. Like if one of my girls would come to me before and said, oh, he's cheated, I'm like, he doesn't love you, he doesn't respect you. Like, oh my God, you can't be with him. But then when I started speaking to these clients, they was such family men. They was proud of their like children. They loved their wife and they loved the life they had. But they was like, you know what, we haven't had for ages, the kids keep us really busy, I'm really stressed at work. And then I realized when they're coming to sleep with me and pay for my service, they're not doing it because they don't love their wife, they're doing it because they haven't been pleasured for a long time or haven't had. And for them, if they've got a high drive, they're just doing it because it's something they want. They don't want to pester their wife, which is completely fine.
They don't want to pester her.
Yeah, they're like, if they don't want it for whatever reason, like that's okay.
Right.
But they're like, okay, well, I still need, which if you've got a high drive, and it's something we all want. So
don't all guys, and that's a huge generalization, but like they all have a high drive compared to women.
100%. Like, and I think a lot of women, especially when, you know, they've had children and things have changed, they say, oh, we don't really have much more, drive has dropped, but they more refer to themselves. Whereas, you know, their partners like going to the pub or going on a night out going, oh my God, I've not had in ages. Oh, I really wish we was being like more intimate. So
what were your tips?
I think my tips for women was, I mean, like one. Spread them.
Spread the leg.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think sometimes like just get intimate. Like, and then if you're not into it, like obviously you can change your mind. But as well, I think either include someone else, or if you don't want to have with them, like send them to me. Like, well, I'm happy to do it. I want to do it.
I'm like, I wonder why they would get annoyed. You're like, hi, subscribe to Let's Hook Up. I actually don't think that's wrong or bad in any way, shape, or form.
I think a lot of the backlash I got, because I talk a lot about consent, it was like, oh, I'm forcing it onto women. Is like, no, I always talk about consent, and I'm not saying if you're a wife that doesn't want to have, that's fine, but he is going to go elsewhere then. So either accept that or send him to someone like me, or like just don't be ignorant to it, or don't be shocked then if you find him cheating with someone he's working with, because if you're not having sex, like he just sort of will be going elsewhere. And it was more of a, hey, heads up women, if you're not having sex with your husband, I will, or someone else is going to be.
So you're basically saying send him to me, but that's more of like a safer, more contained situation rather than, oh, he's hooking up with the secretary or having like this emotional affair.
I'd be so much more hurt. Say if I was in a relationship and my partner cheated and it was more of someone at work, they've been messaging, I'd be like, well, they've been looking at each other, they find each other hot, and it's more of an emotional cheat.
Right.
Someone like me sleeps with thousands of people. Like your husband's, in a way, sometimes just another number. Like there's no emotional connection. We're not sort of messaging beforehand. Like send him to me, I can drain his balls, send him back to you, and then he can get back on with family life, and it's not that serious.
Right. Have you ever, because you've had men who have been married, right? And they like confide in you. Mm-hmm. And have you ever had one of them kind of try to go into like the emotional territory?
Not really, no, because they sort of know, they tend to know a lot about me. They know how open I am about and that I'm not really wanting to date and stuff at the moment. So they never want to take it further, but they do open up to me in terms of, look, I really want to be more intimate with my wife, or, you know, I just want to take it. I want to have, basically. So they will open up in terms of how they feel. And also it can really knock a guy's confidence, because they go from maybe late teens, early 20s, they're going to the gym, they're prioritizing that a lot. They then get a wife, kids, busy at work, and they're not able to prioritize like fitness and health as much as what they was doing before.
Right.
Then their wife's suddenly not having much with them, and they can look at themselves thinking, am I not attractive anymore? Or like they can start feeling insecure themselves, and there's not really anyone that's sort of saying to men, no, you're still hot, or yes, I still find you attractive, or you might not have that gym body you had before, but like, God, I still want to fuck you.
So how often do you think that you have to be having sex with your man? And that's not, I'm literally asking for myself, because I already see it. I'm going to have a baby and I'm a little bit lazy. I'm going to be real with you.
Yeah.
Like if I don't give now, why would I like start really giving them? maybe actually I will start giving them because I'll be like, I need to keep this guy some way somehow.
Yeah, I'd probably say like, I'd say that average, like at least sort of 3 times a week. I'd say that's a good.
You said that's my number.
Yeah,
Like
I'd say at least 3 times a week, but be a little bit spontaneous as well. Don't let the always be when you get into bed. You might have watched TV for a little bit, then starts like, because it just becomes quite structured and boring. Like,
oh my God, that's
no matter the age or no matter how long you've been with that person, like go and have a quickie in the toilet or go and, like being a little bit intimate where it's naughty and mischievous. Like you don't want to be in a boring routine because that's what life becomes, because you're spontaneous when you're young, then you, like you said, you're in a relationship and everything becomes so structured and boring in a way, and you miss the excitement.
You saying you start the show or the movie and then like 5-10 minutes in you do it. I have been having like that for the last year.
Yeah. I want to be walking down the street, like drag me down the alley. Like keep it a bit more spontaneous. Like I don't want it to be repetitive. And then it's the same with guys. Like they miss the excitement and sometimes the chase a little bit. Like if your husband's at work, send him some naked photos. Like keep it entertaining. Oh wait, I've got actually a funny story about that. Oh my
God, please.
So
it's time to take your nutrition to the next level. Meet Xual, today's sponsor. That's HUEL, the global complete nutrition brand trusted by over 400 million people. Their Black Edition ready to drink is a total game changer. A complete meal in a bottle that's high in protein, low in sugar, and packed with all the nutrients your body needs to feel and perform at its best. And right now, new customers can try it for 15% plus a free gift using my exclusive offer at xual.com/Sofia. For me, mornings are absolute chaos and it just gets crazier by lunch. I don't have time to cook a balanced meal. I don't even have time sometimes to put together a healthy shake. That's where Xual Black Edition comes in. It keeps me full, energized, and focused so I can tackle whatever the day throws at me. Xual is designed by experts to provide all the nutrients your body needs, perfect for your most inconvenient meals with no prep or cooking required. The Black Edition ready-to-drink packs 35 grams of protein and 27 vitamins and minerals in a delicious milkshake-like bottle. Try it now with 15% off plus a free gift at xual.com/Sofia. That's 15% plus a free gift for new customers with my exclusive offer at xual.com/Sofia. Unlock a healthier, easier way to eat with Xual. Nutritionally complete meals in minutes so you can focus on what really matters. Y'all, I need to tell you about a product that has drastically improved my hair growth. And not only that, but there is way less shedding happening after I brush my hair or take a shower. Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand, trusted by over 1 million people. See thicker, stronger, faster growing hair with less shedding in just 3 to 6 months with Nutrafol. Nutrafol has multiple formulas that are tailored to give your hair what it needs to grow throughout different stages, such as postpartum and menopause. Start your hair growth journey with Nutrafol. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering my listeners $10 off your first month's subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code Sofia. Find out why over 4,500 healthcare professionals and stylists recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code Sofia. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code Sofia.
When I was with my ex, he was having like a bit of a rubbish time at work. And I was like, okay, I want to keep him entertained. And my camera was broke on my phone. So I was like, oh, can I borrow your phone quickly? I then went and took like a whole album of naked photos.
Who for their phone?
My partner at the time.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, I'm going to take all these photos on his phone. And then I'm going to send them to myself. And then throughout his day at work tomorrow, I'm going to send him these naked photos to obviously just make work that little bit more fun. And I sent the photos what I thought was to myself really quickly. And when I typed in my name, he had my name, so my real name's Tia. He had it saved as Tia's granddad. But I didn't properly check the number. And I sent my granddad a full album of naked photos. And it wasn't until like an hour later, I was like, oh, these photos haven't come through. I checked the phone and it said Tia's granddad.
Literally.
I was dying.
So that was your grandpa?
Yeah. And like at the time, because I'm not showing my partner the photos, he was like, oh, just say like maybe I've brought you a new bra and you've sent me a photo. And I'm like, no, I'm fully bent over, spread apart. Like these, how do I explain this?
You are so phenomenal. I mean, they're sending a nude. You sent your grandpa an album.
A full album. Like,
was it full front leg spread
apart? Like we're talking holes, cracks, everything.
Okay. Did you call your grandpa, or is it like when you see him now? Is it just like you guys don't bring it up, or?
Well, he's dead, so don't bring it up.
Oh, R.I.P. By the way.
But no, at the time, I literally laid there. I was like dying. I was like, I can't move. I can't go over. Like, how do I even explain this? And I sent my partner to the house. I was like, somehow you just need to go over. Like, I don't want to know about it. Just deal with this. Like, just get out the house and go and deal with this. And
you told your boyfriend at the time.
At the time, I was
to
like,
go deal with it with your grandpa.
Yeah, I just couldn't. I was dying inside. I was too embarrassed. Like I was panicking, like super panicking. And he went over. Luckily, he was asleep. My grandma knew my granddad's password, and we just deleted it.
Oh my God.
That was like best. Well, that's the story they told me.
The
like
best case scenario.
I'm still thinking maybe there was more to it because that seems a bit too smooth.
It does.
So,
but you know what? I feel like at that age, I feel like it was like he probably thought he clicked on a link. Like he thought it was UPS or FedEx, and it was actually spam.
I was 15 at the time as well, so I was quite young.
Okay.
Like it was a panic situation. That's all I can say.
So you have always been super confident, would you say?
No. Not at all.
Really?
Like I can remember. So I relocated to Australia like however many years ago. And the first few years I was there, like I didn't even want to put a bikini on. I didn't want to go to the beach that much.
Why?
I was just like insecure, didn't have confidence, and was just so bothered about people's judgment, what everyone thought of me.
Yeah.
And like I can remember like a few years into Australia, I was like, you know what, I'm deleting social media because I feel like I'm posting things just to see how many likes I get, or like, I don't know, I was just comparing myself to everyone else's life. I was like, oh, they've just gone and brought this car, or they're doing this for work now. And I just became like, I guess like just bitter of people. And I was like, I don't know why I've got social media and it's just making me feel insecure. So yeah, I didn't used to be confident. I used to just be like so bothered about what people thought of me, I guess.
Really? So what was the switch? Because I feel like there's been a major switch.
Oh, 100%. So I started off camming. So that's like when you're online and you see these people. I did that only for a few weeks, and everyone was that nice to you. It massively gave me confidence. Like
doing the
camming, because you're speaking to like hundreds and hundreds of people a day, and they're like, wow. Oh, you know what? I love your boobs, your bum, or your pussy, or I love the way you. Like, I don't know, like. They just gave me so much confidence, or like things I perhaps felt insecure about. They tell you they love that body part, or
that's so interesting.
Yeah, and then I was like, you know what? Just because either those people don't find me attractive, look at the amount of people that do it, and you shouldn't ever be. That isn't how you should live anyway. You should never be living because they find me attractive, so I should have confidence. Like confidence should come within. But for me to originally have that boost and to sort of change, it was because so many people were so complimentary to me.
I think that is this kind of genius thing. I mean, I know for me, and I think for a lot of women, I would love to send like a sexy picture and like take a nude. What kind of nude do you guys really want? They love your tits, they love your ass. If you take a nude of you like spreading your vagina, that I feel like is what they like. I wouldn't feel comfortable because I guess I'm not comfortable with my
is
vagina.
My bum hole shaved? Is this done? Like, And yeah, like the thing is, like you see like porn stars with like certain pussies or certain boobs or the way they look, and like it can make you feel insecure because you're comparing. But like whether you are a girl or a guy, and I think this is why I'm so like anti when people like slate people having like a small dick or they look like this. I'm like, they didn't choose to look that way. As long as they're a nice person or they aren't judgmental. I'm never going to sit and judge someone because of the way they look or the way they are. Like if you're licking me out bad or you're fingering me bad, I will be judging you or teaching you.
Totally agree.
But I will not be, you know, if you whip your cock out, I will not be laughing at you for no matter the size. I mean, if it's too big, get away. Like, no thanks.
But I feel like, so when you were doing the cam thing, was your face covered or no?
No. Because when I was camming as well, I was like, no one's going to know it's me. I was doing it in Australia and I was like, if anybody is to log on to that cam and see it's me, they're going to panic more than I am.
Oh, so right.
I was like, no one will know. It's going to be like this little secret I do. And it just escalated from there. But yeah, I think if you're ever having a low week, just go on cam. Like,
wait, I was just going to ask that. I'm like, okay, so if I'm like feeling insecure about something and I were to post on there, would I get more compliments or?
100%. Yeah. Just think like if your boyfriend doesn't compliment you one day, go, you know what? I'm going to go on cam. They're going to compliment. They're going to do your job.
That's actually very interesting. Then you started in OnlyFans.
OnlyFans, yeah, but I had no idea what I was doing. Like, I hadn't had sex with many people.
Also, you're having to not only have sex and like, but on camera, which is a completely different thing.
Yeah, because like the angles. So for example, if you're doing doggy and it's like a professional scene, you do it slightly at an angle because that looks much better on camera, and then you can see the pussy better, you can see the penetration. Whereas like, I didn't know anything like that. It was just I'm having sex and the camera's there, and then I'd watch it back and I'd be like, what is that? Is that a horror movie? Like, and I like the noise, and that was what would like
the noise is the worst.
Yeah, because I'm like, one, I'm not that loud, and
it's you feel like you have to fill up the empty. Because I've made like a sex tape, not for OnlyFans, but for myself, and when I watch back, I want to die. I'm like, so we're being silent for like 20 minutes of the video. And
I'm like, how loud should I be? How often should I be making noises? Because these noises, they don't just come out like, you are making the noises. Like, I'm not just like, the noises are
I'm making noises, but it's not 24/7. Like, there's obviously going to be moments where it's like, silent.
Like, it's not a loud noise. Right. Not for the camera to reach it over there. Like, it's just not.
So I can't imagine, like, if I can only have an orgasm. I love how my mom, by the way, guys, is just in the room right over there.
I feel like this is normal. Like, my mom's cleaned up after gangbangs. So, like, having your mom next door just feels normal.
No, it actually feels normal. And my mom and I are like this. Like, it's not, I talk to her about everything. But if I am having a hard time having an orgasm with a guy because I kind of like him, I can only have orgasms with guys that
you're done with.
That I'm like, we got in a huge fight, so like now they're not going to be.
Do you think that's because you can feel a bit more selfish? Because I know if I've slept with someone that I'm not like overly bothered about, sometimes I'm happy to lie there and just go, you know what, do whatever because it's about me.
Exactly that. I'm like, I actually don't give a fuck if he gets tired, if he's struggling, if there's like, I'm like, no, you're gonna stay.
Go back down. I don't care if you can't breathe. Like, I know CPR, it's fine.
You'll be fine. Just like keep going. Yeah. I think that has a lot to do with it. So if I knew I was in front of a camera, do you have orgasms?
Not to start with, it was fake.
You faked it at first.
Like 100%, because I didn't know how to relax and I didn't speak up enough on what I liked. I just sort of assumed, oh, they're the porn star, they know what they're doing. Like, who am I to say do it like this?
Oh my God, I didn't even
enjoy
think
it like
about
this.
that. You're having sex with like professional, like who have been okay.
And I'm with this girl that's just slept with like 5 people, done very PG, spooning. Okay, we're done. Like, and then suddenly I'm with these like porn stars and I'm like, what am I doing? And you start second guessing everything.
Right.
And there'd be times where if they was licking me out or they were sort of rubbing me while I was having sex, and I'd be thinking, okay, well, I know I need to come now, but now it's taking too long. And instead of saying, can we switch it up, or could you go slower, faster, or harder, I was too nervous to say it. So then I'd think, okay, we'll just fake an orgasm so we can move on, and that's done.
That's literally how I think.
Mm-hmm.
If I think it's been going on for too long, I'm like, this is my thought process. I'm like, okay, I'm going to fake an orgasm, but I'm going to tell him it was so good that I want a second one. So then I can actually have
That is good. That is a good one, that is. I've not thought of doing it like that. I've had ones similar. I've had ones where I've been like, oh my God, I want an orgasm again. And he's like, no, this is my first one, really. Like, we're on round one secretly. But yeah, I think I just used to think I'd get in my head, and then I'd be thinking like, no, you think about a guy's down there right now, like, come. But then I just couldn't. So to start with, it was all fake. And then I think when I started to relax a lot more, because I'd say to these like college boys all the time, like, relax, don't stress. If it takes you a while to finish, that's normal. And then I was like, why am I not taking the advice myself? Why am I thinking I need to finish quickly? Like, if it takes me a long time, it's not because it's been a bad experience up until you finish. It's just sometimes your body takes longer.
I mean, I wouldn't even say sometimes. I would say like a significant portion of the time, like you need the foreplay and you need like, you know, all of these things.
Yeah.
Well, you would know more than I would.
I'm still learning. Like, there's so many things that I don't know. Like, even when I did over 1,000 recently, there was some of the things I was asking for and I was like, what's that? Or how do you do that? Like, because to be honest, they probably watch more porn than me. So like, they know more things. I'm like, I don't know what that is.
Wait, can you tell me like one or two things?
I can't even remember like what it is. But it's just,
I can just imagine you're like, sorry, yeah, but what?
Like, so what are you asking for? Like, there's just certain positions like I don't know. And before, like when I first started in the industry, they'd be going, okay, right, we're going to start the scene by doing missionary, and then I can't even think of another position to look like doggy, and like all these other positions. And I'd be thinking, I don't know what they're on about. So I'd be Googling it because I'd be too embarrassed to say, excuse me, I don't know what this is.
Right.
And now I'm like, it doesn't matter if you don't know. It's not like you sit there Googling all these different positions and you should know. Like, as long as I know what I like, I don't need to know all the terminology. I'm just like, get your head down, get your fingers in, and we're off.
You're like, I don't know what that is, but dick up here, fingers here, and this will feel good.
Yeah, I'm just going to move you.
Yeah. Let's talk about that, because the video was you having sex with, it wasn't 1,000, it was over 1,000.
Yeah. 1,057.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Was that like a lucky number, or like that's just
that was just how many was left in the queue? So like after a certain amount of time, we stopped letting people into the buildings. We knew we'd had over 1,000.
Okay, got it.
We reached 1,000, and this when I looked out the door, the stairwell was just still full.
Oh my
and I was like, I'm not sending these people home. So they've been waiting now for like 6-7 hours. I can't just say, sorry guys, I've hit that 1,000. Like, off you go.
Right.
Like, they'd be going back to their like wives with full balls. I'm like, no, I need to drain them first, then you can leave. So yeah, like we finished what was in the queue.
Okay, so that's where that number comes from. And they were all wearing, maybe this was just like a picture the press picked up, but like they were all wearing like balaclavas.
I'd say like 90% of them, maybe even like 95% to be honest.
Was that like something you requested?
No, so I purchased them beforehand, but a lot of these people, they've got girlfriends, wives, or certain jobs they're concerned about. And this whole... like, obviously, yes, I sleep with them for a video and multiple other reasons, but I want them to have a good experience. And I know most of them feel more comfortable not showing their face, because then they're not worried about what if my girlfriend does see this, or what if this video does get leaked. So I give them the option to, if you want to cover your face, you're welcome to, because I just want them to go in feeling as confident, as comfortable as possible. Because, gosh, it's nerve-wracking. Like, you're in a queue with however many strangers. You're getting naked in front of people, and a lot of men aren't getting naked around other people. You then expected to get hard, get a condom on, go inside of me, these cameras. I'm like, hats off to any of those people. Like, they're brave.
kudos to you, because that's I feel like not a lot of people would even factor that in, you know? And I think that's really cool.
Like, could you imagine if me and you were stood in the queue waiting for a guy to lick us out? We'd be like, well, can't finish now.
I can't even stand in a line, like 3 people to like get a burrito from a food cart.
I'm not a queuer.
So like I would be freaking the fuck out.
There was people in the queue like falling to sleep on the stairs, people stretching, people had brought snacks.
Oh my God, because they're waiting for...
It's a whole day event. Like it's
and were you nervous?
For the start, I didn't think anyone was going to turn up. I was like, I'm going to have more staff. Because obviously I had to have so many staff there. I was like, I'm going to have more staff than people to be inside of me. I was like, I'm going to be asking my employees. I'll be like, excuse me, can you hop in?
Yeah. You just have to keep me wet. Like I need you.
Yeah, like, excuse me, I'm panicking. Like, can you just join in? And yeah, like after it started... That was what I was most nervous about. Like I hadn't even thought of, am I going to be okay? I'm going to be able to take it. I was like, people aren't going to turn up. Like I'm not going to have 1,000. So I hadn't really processed it. But then as soon as I saw the volume of people, that's when I was like,
it kind of a little ego boost?
It's obviously lovely.
I would feel kind of hot,
giving main character vibes.
Yeah. I would like start being rude to people that day. I'd be like, sorry, do you see what's happening?
I mean, I don't really think I have a chance to be rude when I'm covered in fluids on my back all day. Like I'm...
Right. But the next day, because you have it like on film. So thousands of people showed up.
Yeah. Well, like just over 1,000, yeah.
But, so did you end up, but then you had to like close down the line, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of a flex.
It is a flex.
Like that kind of, I'm sorry, but it is.
Like that many people want to be inside of me? Like, come on in.
Right. Like no guy you ever date can, like you can literally drop that every time you guys have a fight.
Yeah.
Remember when over 1,000 guys lined up to have sex
1,000 people wanted to be inside of me.
Right?
Yeah.
Like he can't say shit to that.
Really honestly, the day was so funny though. Like it was, people have got all these... I guess like they imagine what it was like, but anyone that was there, we was all laughing all day, had a good time. Like even like the silly things, like the floor genuinely turned into like an ice ring. Like there was that many fluids, condoms, wrappers. Like guys were walking out the room to leave and would be slipping over, and like people would have condoms stuck to the back. I was losing condoms inside of me. And
oh shit! So what? You just had to like.
Yeah, like there was, because obviously when sometimes they was putting the condoms on, they was a little bit soft because they knew they didn't have that much time with me. So they're sort of trying to push it on really quickly and then go inside of me. And then after, multiple times going in and out, like your body sort of just sucks it off. And
I've been there.
I was like, we'd realised the condom was no longer on the guy and I would just be hooking them out. I mean, this isn't a very attractive image, but I remind me of like, when the magicians pull like string out of a hat.
Right. And they like, it keeps going
and I am
out.
just pulling out these condoms.
So funny.
I'm like, oops, another one's emptied inside of me. So, but yeah, the whole day was actually like so much fun. And the funniest guy was the last guy. He came in and I was riding him and he was just singing, "You've Got a Friend in Me." And I'm like, what perfect guy to finish on. So there's like multiple cameras and he's then saying, I want to thank the staff. I want to thank security. There was a documentary team then. He's like, I want to thank the documentary team.
You need to have a podcast. You are hilarious. Like I'm on the floor crying laughing.
Yeah, well, it was short-lived. I posted one on YouTube and it disappeared.
So is the video on OnlyFans?
No, so it has now been banned from OnlyFans.
Why?
The video. Well, it never even made it to OnlyFans. They're sort of wanting content creators now to only work with other content creators. So
okay,
the video won't be going on that. It might go on a different platform, or I'm going to set up like my own website and it'll be purchased from there.
Well, I feel like that was... So, I mean, that's something that you documented that and it should be available. That was like the whole point.
Yeah, like it's going to be like, obviously, ideally, it would already be out there right now.
Right.
Especially because there's so many people like, oh, it's fake. It didn't happen. I'm sort of sat there with this like 12-hour long footage video and I'm like, I want everyone to see it.
Right.
I feel like I should just maybe live stream it off one of the New York buildings and just say.
I am totally down with that. I will totally.
I'll just use the side of your building to live stream it.
Please do. Please do. We could probably go out my window onto the roof. And we could just put the whole, we could put a thing
it's quite a hot video. But it's going to be sold on either my website or a additional platform.
How long was it up on OnlyFans before they took it down?
It never made it on there. So
it never made it on there.
But yeah, there was like, I've got over like 3,000 consent forms, and we're like, oh, okay, that's going to go in the shredder.
Oh my God. Everyone has to sign a consent form.
Yeah. So, because this is the other thing. A lot of, like when I do the college students and stuff,
right,
they say a lot of women are like, that is so unsafe. Like it's unfair that I'm sleeping with them.
Right.
Like a normal 18-year-old, when they'd go and have sex, they'd be drinking, they'd be under the influence. They've gone back with somebody and like, they don't know the situation. They don't know the environment. Whereas when an 18-year-old is coming to me, there's security on the door, there's ID, there's consent forms, there's a breathalyzer test.
Right.
And it's with somebody that knows what they're doing. So I'm like, what part of that is unsafe or like a bad environment to be in? Like it's the perfect situation. Like I'll be sending my kids to someone like me if I have children, I'll be like, go and join that queue. Here's your packed lunch. Here's a flask. Here's a little deck chair. Like go and sleep with that girl.
Here's a deck chair. But I think the thing is do they have the option after if they don't want it to be filmed?
100%. So like,
well, I guess it's filmed, but maybe they can be like, I don't want it to be published.
Yeah, like if they say, like I say to them, so at any point you change your mind or you don't want it filmed or like you change your mind, you let me know. And like no one has said, I don't want that out there, because I give them the option. If you don't want to show your face, you don't have to. And they also video it so they can see the whole time what is on the phone and what they want to be captured in the video.
Oh, interesting. So they can film it themselves as well.
God, yeah, the videos, a lot of the time, they're so amateur. Like, they're videoing the top of my head. It's zoomed in on a toe. They then put the phone down, getting carried away, and we're having sex for however long, and the phone's down. Like, it's not this, they walk in the room and there's videographers and it's an intimidating setting.
Right.
It is a me, them. No one else is in the room when I do, like, the college students, because I'm aware of how nervous they are.
Oh, I think that's huge.
And then people don't like the fact I don't pay them. But then if I start paying them...
But that's the whole point, is to have like this, like, to the degree that it can, but to have this genuine, real, authentic experience.
Yeah, and then if you do pay them, it's like bribery, or they only slept with you because they needed the money. But they get the footage at the end of it. And if they want to sell it, you know, they're welcome to sell it, post it, send it to their friends, mum, dad, whoever.
I actually, when I first heard it, I was like, cool, whatever. But now hearing you talk about it and kind of like the boundaries and like precautions you put around it, like, kind of hot.
Yeah, that's the thing. I can understand.
Also, I have a brother that's 21.
That is my type. Is he going to spring break?
I'm like, I'm going to pull up his Instagram, actually. He's single right now.
Oh, well, single or not, as we've discovered, it's not a problem.
If he watched in here, he'd be like, he would sign up in 0.3 seconds. You guys would already be in
I'm like,
there.
meet me back at mine. Or the alleyway, as we said. Sometimes it's good to be spontaneous.
The alleyway.
You know, if it's your brother, I'll take him to a bedroom.
Okay, thank God. But you don't have to be that nice to him. There is a little bit, and I hate that I feel taboo saying this. I have like a little teeny tiny bit of a sexual fantasy of like a younger guy.
Oh my God, yeah.
And
I always
younger, I mean like college.
Yeah. I
not
think
my
it's
brother.
hard. Yeah, obviously not your brother. I'll take your brother. You can take your brother's best friend. I'll be in the room next door.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's hot. Like, I mean, I like older guys and I like young guys, but like, I think sometimes it is hot and their stamina is very good.
No girls admit that.
No.
None of them do.
But if you're a guy, you can say you want a young girl.
Well, that's actually like standard, right?
Yeah. But then if we say it, it's like, oh, that's weird.
I know.
And it's like, why? Because you'd happily see me walking down the street with an older guy. So that's an age gap. So why can't I be the older one?
Yeah.
Like, sometimes it's nice to be a bit dominant. When
it comes to sex, younger is like a little bit of a fetish. Actually, dating, fuck no.
Yeah,
dating. They need to be older than me.
Yeah, dating, I'd want them to be older, but to sleep with, I'm like barely legal, barely breathing. Even the disabled, like, get them involved. So I was trying to work it out the other day. I was like, if I slept with someone on a wheelchair, do I pick him up and take him out of the wheelchair, or do I leave him in the chair?
You know what? That is a really good question.
Because depending on how wide the chair is, like, can my legs fit either side, or am I now squashing your legs?
But hopefully they don't have feeling in their legs, assuming that's why they're in the wheelchair. So you could probably ride them till like 4 or 5 a.m. and they would have no.
But then, like, would I need to keep injecting, or?
So that they're hard. Well, let me ask you this. I was hooking up with a guy.
Yeah.
He took Viagra. I heard that Viagra can work for girls too.
There is one, I forget what it's called. And the normal one.
Is there one for girls?
There's one for girls, yeah.
Okay, because I ended up just taking Viagra.
I don't know if that's, if you're meant to. Like, I mean, I'm no doctor, but...
And I couldn't
So
tell.
this is coming from the girl that had over 1,000 cocks inside, and I'm like, I don't think you can take a Viagra. If I'm saying that's bad, then go see a doctor.
Well, I don't think it's bad. I just don't know if it ended up making me hornier because I was
did it have any
drinking a
effect?
lot. I mean, I was super horny, but I feel like I was horny.
Your nipples are erect. My nipples are so hard.
But, I'm going to try it again. But I heard that, like, guy Viagra can work on a girl.
I mean, if it didn't work last time, I don't know why you're going back for round 2.
But I don't know if it worked or if it didn't. Because, what do I base it on? Like, I was super horny. I was also drinking heavily. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Sometimes after a few drinks, that's when I get really horny. I'm like... Oof.
That's the thing. And I'm like, was
you're
it
a
the
bit
Viagra?
carefree. Then I'm like, yeah, any positions. You want to spread my arse part in, like daylight, and I'm not bothered about hair, go on then.
Which I'm actually surprised when you were talking about the over 1,000 guys that you got on top.
Yeah, so I wanted to mix it up. So the previous person that did it, she would just on her back, like, imagine you're about to have kids. Like, it was basically on her back.
I feel like I would just be bent over and I would just like stand like that.
I did a mixture.
I'm a loser.
So I always said to him, like, do you want me on my back or my front? So, like, I'd switch between doggy a lot and then being on my back.
Okay.
Also, it depends on, like, their dick size. Like, sometimes if they had really small dicks, like, doggy's not always the best thing because by the time you're pulling out, it's out. So, like, if they had a smaller dick, I'd always opt for, like, my legs to go back because it's a lot easier to get deeper penetration.
Wow. Smart.
And, yeah, like, I really enjoy riding as well. So
You do? Mm-hmm. Can you teach me, like, what...
Yeah, I mean...
You're like,
I'm trying to think
after,
best way.
It's going to take a second.
I was going to say come and watch, but if the next person's your brother, like, maybe not that one. Like, maybe they want after
I would love that one. I'm just
kidding. College boy. You should go to spring break.
We're only half related. No, I'm totally kidding.
Sounds like your cup of tea.
My mom's going to literally freak the fuck out. That's a joke. Yeah. I would not want to watch him, but I would love to watch you with literally anyone else.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, like, which sex tape's the hottest? I'm obsessed with virgins.
Well, I can't say that, but like maybe I'm into that.
Like just saying like, they've never done it before.
Right.
And how excited they are, or like their face when it goes inside you. Mm-hmm.
Right. I think like also, you know what it is someone so eager to like turn you on and make sure you feel good.
Yeah, I absolutely love sleeping with virgins, like, and seeing their face, and knowing I've given them such a good experience. Like, 'cause usually it's like a terrible experience. I'm like, oh my God, they have just loved that, and like they've never felt inside of a pussy before. They've never done anything, so it's like a first time for everything.
And they're probably losing, I mean, a lot of the time to someone who also isn't that experienced, right?
100%.
So it's just like a horrible experience.
Like they're both literally doing what? Scissoring? Like they don't know what they're doing.
Scissoring.
Oh my God, talking about scissoring though, have you ever slept with a girl?
I have, yeah.
Hard work.
Real? Hard? You think eating out a girl's harder than giving a blowjob?
Not necessarily eating out. I mean, the first time I did it, I had no idea. Like I had to like go on Pornhub and I was like, search girls licking out girls, because I know how I want to be licked out, but then actually doing it, like my tongue doesn't necessarily go that quick.
Right.
My fingers aren't, I'm like, what are they doing? Like they're not doing the right thing.
Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, the fingering part is like a little bit scary. I'm like, I don't know how hard.
We've got nails. And
oh my God, we have nails. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while.
I think it's really hard work with girls. And then the scissoring thing, like, is not for me. Like,
if I were to hook up with a girl now, she would need to be kind of telling you what to do, you know?
Yeah, and also like the shaving, if they've got a slight stubble, like, so if I shave at night, by the morning, we've got a stubble going off. Like, then if I'm rubbing with them, and it's going to look red, it's going to look like we've got a rash going off, and like, that's not sexy.
That's not sexy, but blowjobs, they're easy once it's all about how wet, right?
Well, how much you're spitting on it?
Yeah. Like, I feel like that's really the takeaway.
They use tablets you can take for that. I tried it once during a tape. You put it in your mouth, you're meant to like suck on the tablet, spit it out, and then it like creates
saliva.
A lot of spit.
Oh my God, did it work?
It did, but I just kept swallowing it. So like I was meant to be spitting it out, and I did it with this other girl, and she was amazing. I kept blowing on these fancy bubbles. I was just...
The blowing bubbles, my ex would rant and rave about. I cannot remember her name, but she was like known for giving blowjobs and like blowing bubbles with how sloppy she would do it.
There's a girl recently called Luna Lux, and she does these like insane bubbles.
That's crazy.
And then next to me, I'm like nothing was coming out. I was like, well, this is embarrassing.
Can you get me bubble gum? Can someone just get me gum straight up?
Yeah,
so
she was like really good at that, but I just kept swallowing it. And then afterwards, like that feeling if you're ever going to be sick and your mouth waters, I kept thinking I'm going to be sick. And it wanted just my mouth kept watering and producing saliva because I'd done this tablet. So,
but I feel like you know how to give an incredible blowjob.
Yeah, like I've definitely learned. Like these still guys that are like, oh no, I don't like my balls sucked, or I want it like this. Like I ask a lot of questions as I'm first doing it. Yeah, like I'm like, do you want the tip focused on, or do you want me to suck your balls? Like, do you want me to deep throat it, or like how do you want me to suck it? Because everyone has different like expectations and things they enjoy. So I think it's like a survey. Like before you give a blowjob, like tick off your survey.
Well, I want to ask you, like, do you actually recommend doing that if you're not doing it?
Don't literally sit down with a clipboard. Like you're probably going to turn them off and it's going to go inverted. Like
if I'm going to hook up with a guy for the first time, like, would you suggest, like, before I go down on him, to just ask?
Well, unless you've been like just chatting about sex before, like don't just go, oh, head into the bedroom and going, do you want it fast or slow? Do you want it hot? Like ask it like as you're doing it. Say like you're looking up at him, like eye contact's obviously always good. Like be sucking the tip going, oh, do you want me to put this in the back of my throat? Or like when you're doing different things, say, do you prefer it like that? Or do you want me to go slower or faster?
Do it as his dick is in your mouth.
Yeah.
But like obviously you have to take it out of your mouth to ask
questions like, does that feel nice? They're going to say yes regardless. Like they're just going to say yes. So like say slower or faster, harder or softer. Like ask questions where they can actually give you feedback that you know how to do it better. Otherwise, if you just keep saying, does that feel good? He's just going to say yes and you don't know what to do.
I would never ask a question because I go down there and I'm like, what the fuck?
So you're just silent when you're down there?
Dead silent.
Do you prefer when they're lying down?
Silent.
Are you under the cover?
Room. I've left the fucking room. All of a sudden, I can't shut the fuck up.
You're thinking of college boys
and I'm like, I just know I have to deep throat and I know I have to make this wet. And I also have been vaping, so I have no saliva. But now I have saliva because I quit vaping, so maybe I can. But like I'm in my head, you know what I mean?
I always find deep throating, if you're in the more like 69 position, or if you're on your knees and they're stood up, I find that position so much easier to deep throat. Whereas if they're just lying down, like the angle just sort of doesn't. It's just not going all the way back.
Well, and you have to do like this motion, you know, instead of like that is way easier.
And I think deep throating like is more of a, it more sounds hot, and like it is hot to do occasionally, but I think in terms of pleasure, I think there's more of like a, I guess my go-to, imagine this is a cock. Like we're going to go for like your brothers because I feel like I'm thinking of it now. Like you want to be more like wanking it.
Who are you thinking of?
Well, don't you think of your brother. I'm going to think of your brother. So like, say if like my go-to naturally would be like, I'd be wanking it while I was sucking the tip and my other hand will be grabbing their balls.
Okay.
So I feel like that's
already like you're already a pro.
Like, I feel like just be going up and down, like be spitting on it so like it's dripping down. And then if they're
you cut their balls off the bat.
Yeah, like straight away. And then like with your other fingers, start seeing if they're open for like a rub on their bum, like on their asshole.
How can you tell? How do you like?
So like if you've got your like hands on their balls, and then say if they're on their back, and obviously you're doing it, you'll tell because naturally they'll open their legs a bit, or they're not so tight and clenched. Like you can tell if they want you to go there, they'll make it a bit easier because they're aware if their legs are shut tight, like the shop's closed, like you're not getting in.
Right.
So if they seem a bit open and they're not like
pay attention to body language.
100%, because especially with like arseholes, those are guys won't say I want it.
No.
If you go there and you're quite confident with it, then they're like, go on then.
That is genius because you can't. I feel like you can't just go for it.
If you ask beforehand as well, they get a bit panicky about it.
And then you can't ask either, right?
No, so I think if you're like, my go-to would be sucking the tip, you wanking, grabbing the balls, and then go to their go to their asshole and
see how they respond.
Yeah, like, don't go straight in. More just put pressure on it. I think pressure whilst you're sucking the tip is always very pleasurable.
Okay, I'm smiling because I feel like the last few times I've tried to do that, I just have been like going for it, and I'm like realizing
going straight in. Yeah, no, I feel like
that's crazy.
Even I like pressure on the bum hole, but don't necessarily always like it in.
100%.
Yeah, and I think they're the same a lot of the time.
You are a genius. Actually, I'm going to ask you a final question.
Yeah.
Which I get asked this all the time. What are one or two things you would say in the bedroom dirty talk wise?
Oh, okay. Let me think. I feel like I've got some go-to lines, but I've recently been a bit more open. I've been saying more. You've
been talking more or saying crazier shit?
Gosh, what is my go-to? Oh.
Do you say daddy?
No, I'm not a massive daddy person.
I feel like guys don't even like it though, really.
I think more if I had kids and I was saying more like he was a dad, I'd be daddy. But if I'm sleeping with, imagine me sleeping with an 18-year-old and calling him daddy. It's more like they're going to call me mummy. I can't be saying daddy and they're 18. I probably have slept with their dad. It's just not giving daddy vibes.
You're like, why? Right.
If I was being more of like a taken out on a date, treated, and then we went back, I might be giving more like daddy, because it's more like a caring thing.
Right.
But daddy doesn't naturally come out of my mouth.
No, and I think that's something to keep in mind. Like, not all dirty talk is universal, right?
Yeah, I'd say probably treat me like a slut and fill my holes with cum. I'd say that's just a quite nice, easy. You can drop it in, even if you're not overly confident. I'd say that's a nice.
I think that's always a go-to. I feel like treat me like a slut has never gone wrong, and I feel like fill me up. 9 times
they want to fill you up with cum.
They do, but let me ask you this.
Yeah.
If you're dating a guy and you kind of know you're like a stage 5 clinger and you're crazy.
Yeah.
Do you think if you ask that there's a chance the guy's going to be like, this girl's trying to get pregnant? What the fuck?
I've never had that, but I sort of see what you mean. But apparently guys really like it if you say breed me. Like if you're like, oh, go on, breed me.
Breed me?
Yeah. As in they actually quite like the idea of getting you pregnant because they know it's really naughty and they shouldn't be doing it.
Oh, okay. So that is part of the turn on.
Yeah, I think for some people they like the idea of breeding you.
Breeding. So do you actually say breed me?
I've said it a couple of times. It depends. If I know the person likes it, I will say it, because the last thing you want to be is dropping these lines which you think are sexy and in their head they're like,
and then it's crazy, right?
There's this guy I was dating back in January last year, and the first time I was having sex and trying to be quite confident, and I was like, go on, lick, pushed his head down. I was like, I want you to bury your head in my pussy. So was making him lick me out, and then he came up soft, sex stopped, and I was like, oh, okay. It turns out he wasn't into that in the slightest.
Eating you out?
He just basically didn't like eating girls. That should have been the red flag.
I would have been
from the start.
Bye.
I know he just had a good dick though, so it made me brush the red flag under the carpet, which was a mistake. But at the time, I thought that was really sexy for me to be confident, going, yeah, lick my pussy and stick your fingers in there.
And it was too much for him.
Whereas for him, that was that boner disappeared.
He kind of sounds like a pussy to me, and I don't care how amazing his dick was.
Yeah, well, it was good, but
there's guys that have incredible dicks, and all they want to do is go down on you.
It's hot. I love it. One of my favorite things is if a guy licks you out after they filled you with cum.
Ooh.
I think that's hot.
For someone like me who fakes the first 5 orgasms, I'm probably going to need them to do that regardless. But
then sometimes, because the guy has just finished, they might talk about it during sex, and then when it comes to it, because they finish and they're not as horny now, they're like,
oh, so that's how you know.
Not too into it.
And I'm like, ex like that.
I'm no, you still get down. You said you was going to do it, so please.
Right. Okay, Bonnie, you are the prettiest person on the planet. You are a genius, and thank you so much. What's the next plan for you?
Your brother.
I'm going
to LA, and I want to date so many people. It's 50% under 30 are single. So
that's anyone, an LA thing.
No, just like worldwide.
Oh, okay.
So like those that are single, I want to be able to I want to go speed dating. And then like the top 3 or 4, I want to, on actual Valentine's, take them on dates. But like take them on really nice dates, whether they want to go on like a helicopter ride or something they've never like done before, go and like drive sports cars for a few
that
hours.
Sounds so fun.
Yeah. Because like girls never take guys out as such. Like we expect a lot, and like don't get me wrong, I still expect things, but like I want to treat them as well. Like I hate the idea of that, like obviously I can speak to them online, but I'm like, no, like if you're in LA, you might as well let me take you on a date.
Right. Wait, I'm all about this. I am like fully supporting this. I love this. And I think we are completely fine with it in every other aspect. And when the roles are reversed,
it's like panic. But then stop saying you want equality. Like stop saying you want things the same.
Right.
If you've got an issue, the fact that I am a woman that's happy to date younger people, older people, and be the one that takes them on the dates.
Right. I'm fully behind you 100%. Bonnie, you're the best. Thank you so much, guys. And if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube, please do. And I'll talk to you next week. Bye.